Okay, so ideally everybody has watched the LinkedIn Learning course related to the version of PowerPoint that they have installed on their computer. And that provides the base. And then beyond that, you've hopefully seen the Zooms and the videos that I made on basic animation, overview of animation, since there's a lot to additionally research, but you should be able to get through the assignment with the basics that I provided you on animation. This next video is going to continue with doing voiceover on a slide. So one of the things as far as voiceover that you're going to need potentially is some kind of input device. Now, right now, I'm only using my laptop's input microphone, but there are available inexpensively for probably under $30 in most cases, really decent microphones from a variety of retailers that will allow you to integrate sound into this as well. So again, most people, I think, have a laptop or a computer that has some kind of built-in sound input. But if you want to take it to the next level, or if you want to go ahead and invest in something like a microphone, you can. So I'm going to show you one way to do a voiceover on each slide that also allows you to attach timings to the slides so that the timings don't have to be consistent. What do I mean by that? Well, some methods will give you 3 seconds per slide. So you have to spend about 3 seconds on each slide. Others might be where you record sound and you put it on each slide, and then there has to be an action to trigger that. What I want to do is I want to automate that process. So that as you click, you can record the timings for the slides in your presentation. So let's go ahead and get started on that. One of the things I want to do to view this is view this in this slide sorter, used to be called view mode. And you'll see that we do have some built-in transitions and effects with this. So I'm going to go to the menus at the top here, slideshow, yeah, where it says slideshow here. And I'm going to go to the first slide, and I'm going to record the slideshow. Now you'll notice that there's oftentimes a little arrow here that you can clear the recording if you're not happy with what you've done. But I'm just doing a quick demo for you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the record slideshow. All right, so the first slide comes up, and I can see that there's a count here of how many seconds into the slideshow I am and what the animation will be as I kind of click through. So I'm saying here, this is the first slide. I really don't have anything interesting to say, but I just want to show you how you can attach your voice over to this. This is the second slide. I kind of clicked through by accident too quickly. But what I want to do is vary the time so that each slide has a slightly different amount of time. And here we are on the third slide of this imaginary slide presentation. And I want to make the third slide go a little longer, so I'm going to just talk for a few seconds to extend the amount of time that I'm spending here. Of course, you guys would be making really great points about your slide presentations. You have way better slides than these. And then I'll click again to go to the fourth slide. And this is the final slide in my presentation. So I can click to end this presentation here, is we have recordings that are timed. So I can see it's 23 seconds on this slide, it's 11 seconds on this side, it's 24 seconds on this slide, and this final slide is 7 seconds. And we can save those timings and those recordings with it. Now let's say I made a mistake. I actually did make some mistakes, but just for the purpose of doing the presentation here, I'm not going to re-record them. That's where we could come back here and we could clear everything that we did, all the narrations and the timings on the slides, and we could go ahead and re-record them. But I'm pretty happy with this. So what I want to do is I want to go to the start and want to play, and we're going to listen to how it turned out. So this first slide comes up, and I can see that there's a count. You can hear my recorded voice. The slideshow I am, and what the animation will be as I click through. So I'm saying here, this is the first slide. I really don't have anything interesting to say, but I just want to show you how you can attach your voice over to this. I'm not touching the mouse at all. These builds are happening automatically because of the way I built it.
This is the second slide. I kind of clicked through by accident too quickly. But what I want to do is vary the time so that each slide has a slightly different amount of time. And here we are on the third slide of this imaginary slide presentation.
So that's the process of recording your voiceover. Now, if I were to save this presentation, if we can go underneath File to Save As, I can save this as a PowerPoint presentation, a PPTX, which is good. And I'm going to do sample here, sample presentation. And I'll save it with a PPTX. The other format that is helpful for students to save in is a PPSX. The PPSX will save it as a PowerPoint slideshow. Now that includes just enough of the program for your viewer to play the PowerPoint without having PowerPoint installed on their computer. So let's say you wanted to share this with somebody who did not have PowerPoint installed. That PPSX would make short work of this. So I can go ahead and close this. And we'll go to PowerPoint again and open the recent one. I believe I called it sample. Yep, there we go. And we can check by going back and playing this to see that and my hands are not touching the mouse after the start of it.
So the first slide comes up and I can see that there's a count here of how many seconds into the slideshow I am and what the...
Okay, so that's how you basically would record timing and voiceover. Now, there are 2 or 3 ways to do this, and the way that I'm showing you allows you to control the timing as well as record the voiceover at the same time so that I can spend a different amount of time on each slide. There are ways where you embed a sound file inside of each slide, and then you have to basically go in each slide and install the order that things will be executed on that slide, and that's perfectly fine too. If that works for you or that's a good way to do it, you can move forward with that as well. But I find this to be the easiest and most flexible way for most students to do it and save it with those slide timings, and it does a great job. Save this out as a PPTX. We can still then, when we're done, export this to video to upload to YouTube. All those are skills that you will definitely draw upon at some point if you're doing presentations. I hope this helps. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask.